It doesn't take long for artificial intelligence to come up in any conversation about cybersecurity in the defense community. Jim Smid is Federal Chief Technology Officer for DoD and Intel at Palo Alto Networks. He says even though the discussion around AI and cyber is relatively new, the actual use of the technology has been around for a long time.
A lot of that's with machine learning, doing pattern recognition and anomaly detection. But I think it's really important that the government be able to take advantage of these to kind of accelerate the time that they can detect things, the time they can respond, and to really eliminate some of the manual processes and things that we do. We really have to be able to respond for cybersecurity at machine speeds and not rely just on operators looking at screens and detecting alerts and trying to decipher root cause.
What does that automation allow the workforce to be able to shift to, since they don't have to sit and just stare at those screens and look for those patterns themselves?
Well, I think you have to first look at the sheer volume. We're seeing just net new attacks over 1.7 million a day, and that means zero-day attacks that haven't ever been seen before. You have to use artificial intelligence to identify those, and the sheer volume of that means the days of having an operator looking at a screen and detecting the sheer volume of the alerts coming through, that has to be eliminated. You have to automate that. And a lot of times you have these different sources of the alerts, and the alerts themselves may be innocuous in and of themselves. They may get passed over or get lost in the noise. What's important is that all of these alerts can get stitched together, so correlating those and normalizing the data and being able to recognize that they all mean something when looked at as a whole. So boiling down the sheer volume of alerts into something that's manageable for the operators, giving them something that is actionable and oftentimes can be automated. So repetitive tasks from an automation perspective should be eliminated as much as possible and make the manpower as effective and efficient as you can.
What's your view of the intersection of those cybersecurity concepts that AI is driving and the zero trust goal that the Defense Department has set for itself to get to by 2027?
I like to think that artificial intelligence needs to be built into the entire zero trust architecture. Every single tool has it. You don't buy artificial intelligence in and of itself. It's embedded in all the different tools. And it's really important first that you have the sheer amount of data that you need, so being able to collect all the data. Secondly, being able to normalize that data and put it in a place that it can be shared. And third, how do you correlate all of that data? So zero trust is really only effective when you have a platform that's tightly integrated, it's leveraging artificial intelligence, and it's giving you automation built in so that you can eliminate those repetitive tasks. And it's the only way that really zero trust is effective and efficient.
You get to a point there that I think is as much philosophical or conceptual as tactical, and that is you don't just buy an artificial intelligence thing, it's woven into the tools that the Defense Department and the civilian agencies are using.
Absolutely. We've been doing artificial intelligence and tools for over a decade. That's certainly accelerated. I think that's where most innovation you're going to see in cybersecurity will happen over the next 3 to 5 years. You're going to see that built into every tool, and it's a lot different than it used to be, where we used to have machine learning to identify pattern recognition and things like that. We're starting to leverage these large language models, generative AI, be able to have co-pilots where you can make operators more effective. And I think that's really critical for our DoD customers, because a lot of times, first, you don't have a lot of operators, and from an experience standpoint, you need to make them fast and effective as quickly as possible. So being able to use these co-pilots and best practices and have that at your fingerprint tips is critical.
How do you tell your government partners to accelerate the learning curve to build those people that understand how to use these tools effectively?
Yeah, I think the tools themselves, by building large language models and being able to use natural language in the tools themselves, being able to have recommendations and co-pilots on best practices, that's what gets them up to speed very quickly. They can go and see what the CLI, for example, might look like to do something, but to have it the easy button where you can be effective and you can do very sophisticated remediation without having to know exactly what you're doing in the very beginning, I think that's a critical part of it.